Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Qdabra's weekly webinar. This is Patrick. We're very happy to have you here. We have a new feature we're showing you today. We've been pushing really hard to get all of these Forms Designer and features done before the Microsoft deprecation, and we made a huge amount of progress recently, but we've also been looking at other things, and one of the things we've been looking at is this ability to convert PDFs to Qdabra forms. So you've got a PDF, let's make it a smart form. That's the topic of today's webinar. I'm thrilled to have Elmil Clemente here. She's been a long-time Qdabra resource. She's been here since 2008, so she's been through everything. Mel, thank you for joining.
Great, thank you.
And it's all you today. Obviously, you're doing the demos. You've got the slides. Can we go to the next slide? So today's agenda is we're showing you how to take a PDF, just a generic PDF, and create a smart form from this. So why we say smart form? Well, PDFs aren't smart. PDFs are essentially images. So we're taking your PDF and we're going to preserve how it looks to make sure people don't lose any, training information. They don't have to relearn anything. But we're going to make it smart and modern. And we're going to add validation and responsiveness to it. And I'm also going to show this in our demos. And connect it to data connections, right? Not just to query data connections to populate pick lists, but also to send data downstream so you can do reporting. So this is really the key thing for today's webinar. Next slide, Mel. Right, so it's a very simple process. You just upload a PDF. The skill that we're using on the back end is going to map your PDF to an XSN, send it to you via email, and then you'll have something you can publish to Qdabra Forms. So it's really that simple. It takes 10 to 15 minutes to do the conversion, and then you've got something. Mel? So she's going to show this form she just took off the web, employee mileage expense report form. And the key thing about preserving the look and feel is that you don't want to have your users have to learn something new. They've seen a PDF before. They want it to look the same way. Now we can highlight fields as required, which the PDF does not do unless you have special logic. We'll show that as well. But we want to also keep your compliance. So you've got forms that have a regulatory requirement. We want to make sure those PDF forms continue to work because you can generate a PDF from the Qdabra form, and it should look exactly like the previous PDF. Mel, we should have added this to the demo. I forgot to ask you to do this. Anyway, the whole goal is to reduce the migration effort and to make the form smarter and better for you. Next. So what does that mean, making it smarter and better for you? Well, it means adding business logic. It means adding rules, calculations, obviously conditional sections, and then this data connection integration, but also the modern UI. Mel? Okay, so when we say device responsiveness, you all know this already, but we mean multiple devices. So you can have a landscape mode in your desktop, you can have a portrait mode in your mobile, and we want to be able to support both with one view. This is something that Power Apps cannot do. So we're going to show this today, hopefully. And obviously, there's other things we're doing. We're checking formats and rules and fields and doing validation and blocking submission if the rules don't pass, blah, blah, blah. Mel, next slide. Yeah, so one thing that it's really hard to do with PDF forms is, you can do this. You can actually create live cycle forms and, create code behind your PDF forms, but it's really hard. It's actually worse than Power Apps. Power Apps is more difficult. No, sorry, Power Apps is not as difficult, but it's still difficult. So with the one thing you love about Qdabra Forms and InfoPath was that you can actually add these data connections quite easily because they're all just XML. You bind it, and then you can map it to your dropdown. So we're going to show this today. Next slide. Yeah, and so then there's the not just the query, but there's also the submit. And when we say submit, what are we talking about? We're talking about repurposing that XML data for your other business processes downstream. This could be reporting. This could be just saving it to a SharePoint list or a library. It could be email. It could be some ERP or line of business system you've got out there. Great Plains is going away. We could map to the on-prem version of that. SQL database, DB we can even do reports. Next slide. Okay, I saw you, Mel.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Let me share out. Actually, I was sharing it already. So I'm just gonna pop open my browser here and share again. Hello, everybody. It's nice to see familiar names here. So I hope you can hear me well. Here you can see on my screen the PDF to XSN converter. It's up on our training site, and we're going to provide you a link to access this anonymously. You don't have to have an account. So just, yeah, I'll start tinkering with this. Before I actually do it, let me show you the PDF that I'm about to convert into an XSN. This is just that's the template, a generic template that I downloaded off of the internet. It's an employee mileage expense report. So our goal is to recreate this into a full-fledged form in Qdabra forms. Okay, so let me just fill out the form here with my details. So if you enter your email address, you'll receive a link to the generated PDF. So just enter your email there. And then for the instructions, anything that you want the form to do aside from generating it, plain and simple, I want it to also, I'd like to specify which fields are required, although it is going to be smart enough to decide on its own what fields will be required in that PDF form. Let me just show you that again. But we can be specific, as to if we have our business requirements, right, we want some specific fields here to be required. So we can specify that in the instructions here. And then I also told it to add some validation rules. So yeah, mileage rate and total miles must be non-negative, things like that. And then auto calculations. So if you just instruct the tool to do these, we'll see if it's able to handle those for you without you having to actually do it on your own in the designer. And aside from that, we've got some smart features here, automatic validation. So you've added validation rules, but there must be a triggering rule to enable that to show like red borders or red highlights to emphasize that they are valid, they're not valid, things like that. So we want that automatic validation. Responsive design is what Patrick was talking about, making it mobile friendly in that the screen adapts to however wide the device is, be it your desktop or your mobile device. And then there's this bonus dark mode toggle, which will show. It's just a good addition. And this list might grow depending on, discoveries later on and customer requests. So let's just click upload PDF and build here. It's going to ask for my PDF location. I'm just going to point it to my mileage report, expense report here. And as soon as I attach it, it's going to start running. So this job is going to take 5 to 15 minutes. We're not going to wait for that, but it's showing you how it's progressing. When it's done, it's going to show you, hope I didn't close my other instance. Yep, this overlay. It's going to tell you build complete, and then it's been emailed to the email address that you entered, which I have a demo of that. We're not going to wait for it. So let's just jump to my generated one from earlier. Yeah, so I'm calling this the demo end. Let's create draft. This is forms viewer. And if I click create draft there, it's going to open the template in forms designer. So this is what it generated. Okay, we can see we've got those fields that were, let's just open this in forms viewer, open a new form. It did also add default values in here, which is nice, but in most cases, these fields should be blank, right? So those kind of things you can just modify in your designer, but This is actually, again, the end template that I already hooked up with some other things going on. So actually, I'm going to create a
Mel,
new,
did it
yeah,
just generate all those vehicles?
which one? Sorry.
The drop down for the vehicles.
Yeah, I created a list with these vehicles.
So it didn't actually do that, right? That
It did not. Yeah, I was gonna show. Okay, I'm just gonna create a copy of this and upload what it actually generated. So let's name this demo. So you're gonna see that there is no drop down because we didn't instruct it to do that. I'm not sure if it's already capable of doing that. So I'm just going to manage templates and edit my new copy. And here I'll upload the one that it generated, which is this one here, demo, and then upload or update and publish. Then we'll reopen it in it as a lower version because I've done more things to what I just showed you. Now I'll open this in the designer. So this one doesn't have a drop down in the vehicle description. So let's open this one again. We'll see just the plain text box in here. So again, I was showing you these should be blank by default. And here we can see that it did add those as required fields based on my instructions. And what else? It looks almost similar to the original PDF as far as layout goes, you know, 2 columns or 4 columns at the top there, and then a repeating table for the mileage items, signatures at the bottom. It copied exactly that. And we'll look at the dark mode here. Yeah, it did work seamlessly there as well. So this is good for,
nice.
right. That's dark mode. What else did we specify? So the validation is there. So let me show you in the designer um, how those validation rules look like. So employee name, let's see here. This the tool added this one. So employee name required. Okay, what else? It has totals too. We said do auto calculation. So if I just go back to my form again, if I enter 10 miles for this one, it calculates the amount there and gets a total reimbursement. If I do another, right? So it auto calculates. Those are, otherwise needed to be, you need to add those kind of things. So if I just look at my rate field here, I think it's going to be the miles.
Is
Yeah.
it querying the Iranian government's website for the cost of oil?
No, we're hard coding it to 0.70. That's for 2026. It says that's the current rate. So yeah, it added this rule, compute amount. So it's just yeah, multiplying the mileage rate times the total miles. So it added that. And then what else am I going to show here? Let's see. For the next features, we're still not able I'm not able to experiment yet if it's able to connect to a list, but that might require permissions, extra permissions to connect to your list. So we're just going to do that after the tool generated the access in, which is a normal process anyway, normal workflow. So I'm going to connect this to my list, and let's just call this the vehicles list. And it's going to be a SharePoint list data connection. I pre-created my list here. You saw that the first part of my demo. There's the vehicles list. It only has a title column. I want to sort it by title. So I'll just leave it querying on formula. That's fine. Add the connection. That's how easy it is to add a SharePoint list data connection. Then back to my canvas. I just want to get rid of this text box here and replace it with a drop-down list box bound to the vehicle description field. And look at the properties. Let's temporarily hide the rules pane. Go to properties. I'm going to change the drop-down to show dynamic options. So selecting my newly created vehicles list, data connection, pointing it to the repeating group right there. I don't need any filters, but you can specify that if you need to. Now I'll just point the display field to be the title, same as the value. It's going to be the title.
ID, right?
We can do ID. Best practice is ID. Probably we'll stick with title for now. We'll apply, click apply there, and save. And when it saves, let's just check real quick how that looks like. We'll see our drop down here, and now it's dynamically pulling from my list here, which let me show
Why
you.
isn't the view being responsive?
Oh, I haven't shown the responsive view. On the desktop, this is the normal view. So on the desktop, it's just, I didn't make it wider than that, but on narrower devices like a mobile devices when I am simulating
That looks
an
good.
iPhone 14 Pro Max. Yeah, it just stacks vertically. Even the
I see.
repeating items here, if I insert another item, it's going to stack it down
So it really
below.
is responsive. It's just not showing that. It's not filling the screen on the desktop, but everything else is working.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's that. The next thing we see the drop down working there. And the next thing we'll show is the submit. We're able to retrieve from the list. Now we want to submit data from our form to another source, which is going to be a SharePoint list also. I created these two lists. So we've got a parent-child list scenario going on. We've got the expense reports, which will have the sort of headers from our XML data. And then there's the child list, which are the items, the line items that are added in the repeating group. And those are going to be related. This is helpful for things like reporting. So we'll configure our form, we'll set up our form to submit to these two lists. So back in my forms designer here, I'm just going to close my other instance so I don't get confused. So the first thing is adding the SharePoint mapping. So here in our SharePoint mappings tab, there's nothing here, so I'll just add a new mapping. It's going to ask for my mapping name. Just call it default mapping. And then we'll add a top level mapping, point it to my expense reports list. This is the parents list. And then point it to my base path. I'll just point it to my root node there. And I'll start mapping the columns. So which columns do I want to populate with form data, right? So I'm going to start with title, then I map it to the employee name. Okay. Then I'll just keep adding my other columns here. I'd like the vehicle. So point it to my vehicle description field. And the next period from is this field right here. Same with the period to. So for dates, you've got options there to, we'll specify this to be date because they are date columns. Okay, lastly, I think is now the amount. Okay, so these are not coming from any repeating group of some sort. These are just what I call headers, the metadata maybe. So yeah, we're happy with our parent mapping. Now to add a child list mapping, we'll just click on this button, the button here, add child level mapping. Then we'll see here that there's got some hierarchical structure going on here. Where this time we're going to map it to the items. And my base path would be my repeating mileage item group. Then I'll map those fields one at a time. First, starting with telling the mapping how do these lists relate. So I'm gonna pick the expense report ID column, which is from my hold on, from my
So
list.
you're mapping the repeating data in the table to two lists in SharePoint, right?
Two lists, yes.
Yeah. We could also do this with SQL, right? We could have two tables, right?
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
So
Sorry.
the way to say that this is so-called a foreign key, right? In SQL terms, this is the foreign key relationship. So I'm going to specify this to be my parent list ID. Okay, then add my other columns. So next is going to be my title is going to be the description of my item. And I'll also map the starting location and the destination.
What about the first one, the first row?
Which for sure,
Oh, that's right. That's the parent.
the parent, yeah, the parent, and then this one is the child. We're creating the child now. And then miles, and I think lastly the amount. So here I've got total miles, then one more for the amount. Okay,
So
those, easy to create mapping like that. Don't forget to click apply changes. And now if we go back to our canvas, the form knows where to go, but we need to like a trigger, like a
I
button.
love how the auto save just worked right there. It's like you
Right,
just auto saved it, and then you still get you're working on it. So it's going to auto save again in a second. There it goes.
right there. Yeah. That way you won't lose your changes. So, some outage happens or what have you. You get a backup copy of your last changes. So I'm just gonna create a submit button here that will trigger submitting to our lists and calling that a submit, and then I'll add a role. So this is gonna be a QRoles. It's gonna use a QRoles command. So we're just gonna add or run a QRoles command, and it's called the submit to SharePoint list tool. I can manually type in here, but there's
Can
something.
you just do the insert to Curls?
Yeah, we've got a new thing going on here. Insert Curls command. Clicking on it allows you to search for a list of a growing list of commands here. We're interested in the submit to SharePoint list, so I'm just going to search for that. It's this one right here. So I can specify some parameters. These are all optional, but we know, yeah, we're not going to go through these. Just using the submit to SharePoint list, which you see in the command preview, it does the trick. As long as we start,
Wait, hold on. Don't you need to
yeah,
specify the mapping?
I'm sorry.
The
Yeah,
mapping?
we don't need because by default, it's going to take mapping as the name. Yeah,
Ah,
default is mapping. That's why I named my mapping data connection just mapping. That
okay.
removes some complexity. So then I can just use the command itself. Right, like so. Okay,
Okay.
click OK, and
Is it gonna work?
uh,
Is it gonna work?
it should. If not, we're going to debug. That's fine. It's already part of the webinar presentation debugging. Okay, so here it's auto filled in for us. Let me just change some fields here just so we have different set of data. I'd like a Pearl car, Nissan, and I'm gonna say here is Patrick. That's mine, Jane Doe. Yeah, authorized by Patrick Austin.
Nice.
Okay, that looks good. And then we'll add one more line item. We'll say dinner, from office to I don't know. I can't think of a good
Why
name.
aren't there any electric cars in the list?
Oh, well, maybe I'm old fashioned like that.
Because they don't require reimbursement. That's the
Oh,
answer, right?
yeah, that makes sense. So, okay, I think I'm happy with my form. Let's just go dark mode for, oh, even the
Oh,
button got
okay.
dark. Okay, let's submit. And we don't see the spinner icon there so much, but we'll see, check the
Jerry's
list.
Grill. Is Jerry's Grill really a place you go?
Here, yeah, it's a go-to bar. We go here, eat, yeah. There we go, our
Nice.
item got submitted in the parent list, and
Hey,
then we'll
nice job.
refresh,
Wait,
refresh
child
the
list. Oh,
child.
child list is working too.
Yeah, there we
Oh,
go.
wait, hold on. Where's the child list? Is this child list?
Yeah, these two items. Jane Doe.
That's 25. It was 17.5.
Oh, you're right. Maybe our calculation logic is
But the
not.
miles is 25. The
Oh
amount is
yeah,
20.
miles, and then we're
Sorry.
counting them all.
Sorry.
You got me confused. Just
Okay, let's go
align
back to
with
the slides.
yourself.
No, no,
Yeah,
no.
so it
Awesome
works.
job.
Yay.
You are amazing. You are amazing.
Thank you.
You are on fire.
Oh,
You are reaching the orbit of the moon. Let's go back to the slides.
sure thing. Let me pop that
Just like
open.
so, questions for us. You've got the chat window there. You can ask us. Thank you for that. The clapping hands. That was very nice. I don't know who did that, but you were awesome. Um, we don't have a huge number of people here today. I'm glad that you guys came. Um, and it's we're trying to do more webinars at this juncture. We spent a lot of time in the first quarter trying to finish all the Forms Designer features. This is not a Forms Designer feature. This is a new feature for you. Um, yeah, and we're going to be adding more and more features to this PDF to XSN conversion. Why do you care? Well, number one, you can look good. So you can take existing PDF processes and make them smarter. Why? Well, PDFs are hard to fill out. There's no workflow. There's no responsive design. There's no dark mode. You know, make your PDFs better. Let's do it. I mean, we're done with the old school PDF stuff. I mean, tax forms are PDFs. We could make those smart as well, but you wouldn't have control of the data connections. So this is really for forms where you have data, you have logic. It'll make you look good because you're filling out, you're creating value. You're actually taking this static PDF form and you're now making it dynamic, smarter, more modern, up to date. You're using AI to create it, but that's just a one-step process. So once you convert it, there's no AI involved. It's just the conversion process. And we run this on our virtual machine. So it's not your AI. We don't, we look at your PDF, obviously, and we don't store it anywhere. But yeah, so if you got questions, please ask us. If not, we got this link for you. Mel, do you want to open up the link? The link. Does it work?
Really?
So these slides will be sent out to you and they'll be in our YouTube webinar upload in about 12 hours or less. So she's opening this link here now. Hopefully it will render. Hey, okay. So you can just try this out. We would love it for you to try it out. If you try it out um, more than once, so 2 times or more, we'll give you a special support credit. And that's $500. So if you actually run through this with 2 of your PDFs and try this out, we'll give you a special support credit. And we are watching because we have access to the logs. So any questions for us? Thanks, Mel. Awesome job.
Looks like Robert has a question.
Robert. Wait, let's make Robert a presenter. Can you make him a presenter? Or a talker, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
I can do it too.
Allow Mike.
Yeah, just give him the mic.
Talker now.
Nice.
Hey, thanks.
We have a bunch of, or we have a standard template that whenever I build a new form, I build on top of that. Is there a way to run a PDF through this, get kind of the dirty version of it, but then pick all of that up and drop it into an existing template so it's basically wrapped in what we're used to seeing?
I wouldn't do that. I would just stick with the XSN. I wouldn't, because there are going to be possible conversion mistakes here, right? It's not going to be maybe I didn't understand your question, but if you got like a standard template you're using, right, then I wouldn't go back to PDF and store it in PDF. Is that what you're asking? Maybe I'm confused.
No, kind of the opposite. So we have a template right now that has, our headers, our footers, the ability to ask questions, it submits to certain things, it ties to other forms. And so like if I'm going to add a new expense report, I would open up my blank template and then I just start building inside of that blank template, adding fields, doing data
Right.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
But let's say I have a kickoff meeting PDF form that everyone's using, and I'd like to convert that. I could run the PDF form through here. It's going to give me just a clean version, but it's not going to sit inside of the template with all the data connections and all the interactivity that we're used to having.
Interesting. So you're talking about like taking a PDF with your XSN, like boilerplate. What, boilerplate? Is that the right word? Like the
and kind of merging the two
version
together.
Yeah. That's interesting.
I think this is a bigger question than what you're talking about here, but I mean, it's happened before where like I have an old form that I developed 10 years ago. I have this brand new template that I use for every future form, but in order to take the old form and put it into the new template, I essentially have to rebuild it each time.
Well, that's a great question. Mel, do you have any ideas here?
Yeah, it's sort of like you're gonna specify or add a starter template Right.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah,
And
maybe we
this would
can
build
have
it
that.
into that starter template
Yeah.
would be really cool.
And I think that's impossible. We can just, can allow attachments here, like add your starter template, and the tool will build on top of it. Add,
So we need a new feature to add a starter template. Is that right?
yeah, I think so.
That would
Okay.
be cool.
Hey, that's awesome
That
idea.
would be
Thank
really
you.
cool.
We're going to add that to our feature list. We're going to be done with all features and bugs by the end of May, guaranteed. Like, if you have features or bugs, please throw them at us. I'm sure we'll have a backlog of, or we'll have an open log of 50 or so that are active because they've been active in the last week. But we're trying to get through our backlog of all feature and bug cases by the end of May. And right now, we start off with like 700 plus, and we're down to like in the 500s now. Why? Well, because we're using Claude Code to the max, and we're, of course, humans are verifying. Jimmy is verifying every single change that goes in, but we're trying to get every single request and feature done in the next 5 weeks or 6 weeks. So this is a great time to throw your requests to us. Thank you, Robert, because yeah, we can do it. I mean, we have increased our productivity by 20x since last year this time, thanks to the AIs. The developers aren't writing code, they're just reviewing check-ins. It's kind of sad in some ways. However, it's working better for the customers. So that's what we're doing. Questions for us? Any other questions? I want to thank you all for being here today, and I want to thank especially Mel for your demo, Mel. That went really well. And wait, Chris has a question. Thanks, Harrison, for the comment. We should check on Chris's question, Mel.
Yeah, he's asking, question of the SP web app URL, since a deprecated add-in for SharePoint. Is that necessary, this URL?
I'm trying to understand that. So, do you understand that?
Not really, maybe messaging me.
Let's give
Or,
Chris the floor.
oh,
Yeah, so we have, so Chris, we've had a number of customers reporting on this issue with SOAP web services, ASMX, get user profile service, and so on. They're failing because Microsoft has deprecated it. And we have a workaround, of course. There's two actual workarounds, but they take 15 or 20 minutes to implement. And we're trying to implement automatic injection to the forms to make it so you don't have to do the workaround. Is that the question? Is about ASMX?
No, the thing was with the new that you use in the getting to forms viewer designer and whatnot, you don't have the add-in in the site contents. You have to go to the form, the forms JSON page and click the link there to get to the forms viewer templates. And when you go to run the forms, the doesn't include the SP app web URL anymore because you're not going that way. Does that make sense to you?
No.
not so much, but I imagine any URL, whatever URL you're using right now, you just add this fvanon equals true parameter, and it's it can be
Yeah, no,
accessible.
that works, but
Yeah.
the and SP app web URL
Mm-hmm.
isn't there anymore.
Oh, you're talking about
And
like a parameter to the URL, Chris?
yeah, it's not. It's and again, it may not be
I
needed
see what you're saying.
because that's the app
Well,
web heading.
no, I mean, like it depends. I mean, like, what can you paste the URL into the chat? Just, I mean,
Let's see.
it really depends. Like, it depends on how you deploy Qdabra forms. If you got a hub and spoke model, like site collections, right? That's what Microsoft uses, even though they didn't start with that. But everyone's using site collections now. So you've got Qdabra forms deployed to your master site collection, and all your subsites are hanging off of that. That's a hub spoke model. And in that situation, you might still need, thanks, Mel. I need to look at chat here. So this is the link to the,
But that's for your
okay, I'm sorry.
SharePoint.
Yeah, I didn't see that. Sorry. That was earlier. So are you pasting in the link, Chris?
Yes, I see the link. Yep. Yep. But when I go and run mine, it looks
Sure.
hang on, I'm getting there.
No worries.
Hang on.
Yeah,
It's
thanks for the
coming.
question. If you guys, I mean, I really appreciate everyone else being here. If you guys want to drop off, that's totally cool. We're going to do another webinar next week. Hillary's last webinar. She's quitting at the end of this month. She's discovered the Buddha. I don't know, something. But please join the webinar next week to give her a final send off. If you don't like, you may not have a relationship with Hillary, but she's been our top support lead forever and a day. She also started around the same time Mel did in 2008. And we'd love to have you there just to say thank you, Hillary. So that's next week. DeepExcel update, new version of DeepExcel. Thanks, Chris. QFS formsquo.com forms your okay. So this is SP host URL. That's what you're talking about.
Right, but
So
that's the normal, but there's no SP app web URL anymore. You know, it doesn't I guess it doesn't need it because there's no way to get it. I can't create it.
it might be related to Entra ID. I'm just trying to think through this here, but we had this big change with Microsoft earlier this month.
Yep. Yep. No, I know.
So
Yeah,
I'm
it looks
glad
like
you mentioned this.
the link still worked if I remove the SP web app URL. So, I mean,
Right,
yeah.
but on a new site, I don't have that the app web URL. So the SP host works fine because
Yeah.
that's linked to my site.
Yeah.
But the other piece, and so it just, you know, when I go to build my URLs in my forms and stuff like that for links and stuff like that, I have to, you know, they were coded a different way. So I had
Sorry,
to fix
Chris.
them.
I mean, for the new
That's okay.
sites, though, no, I mean, do they have the Forms launcher? Do they have the Entra ID stuff?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yep.
good.
Yep.
That's
Yeah,
good.
because you can't do it any other way. You can't get to the forms viewer otherwise. So
Yeah.
And everything with Pumas is okay. We did this Qt chat update. I know it's been relatively like 12 hours ago. Like, do
I
you need
think
help with
it's
that?
still broken for the one that we sent. But you know,
Can you try it again?
yeah. Yep.
Okay, and
Yep.
just let me know. Just email back that thread. You're definitely on the top of the list.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. I hope you guys have a great day. Um, we'll be doing a webinar next week. Don't forget Hillary. It's her final webinar. We gotta send her off with lots of fireworks. Please join if you can. Thank you very much. Thanks, Mel.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye bye.